is going on YouTube? It is Just My Opinion, and today I will be reviewing the XX's debut album, XX. And before I get into the video, shout out to my boy J Will. Now the XX is a outfit out of London, England, and this is their self-titled debut album that really gave them a lot of notoriety in the music industry. They were a dream pop alternative indie outfit consisting of initially 4 members, but then it got cut back to 3. One of the members includes Jamie XX, who a couple years ago in 2015 broke out with his solo release In Color, and that did very, very well. And the album starts out with my favorite song, which is just simply titled Intro. Absolutely love this song. One of my favorite all-time songs. Right from the get-go, you could tell what kind of vibe they're going for. They're definitely going for that dreamy, moody, indie pop vibe. Has beautiful echoing guitars in it that they're known for throughout this entire project. But it also has perhaps the hardest hitting drums that you're going to hear on this entire album. And not only that, but it features some really, really nice melodic electronic sounds, and the 2 main singers you hear kind of faintly in the background, almost duetting with each other. No lyrics throughout this entire piece. It's just kind of an instrumental piece. But overall really sets a beautiful tone for the album. Now, the next song is VCR, a much quieter song. Kind of like the majority of this album. It's very soft, very quiet, but definitely has that dream pop appeal to it. Especially with the xylophones in the beginning. The production was a little bit thinner on this one than I would say the first track. It's the first glimpse that we get at both Romy and Oliver singing. I think Romy's voice is definitely a little bit more powerful than Oliver's, but together though, they both are very soft in their vocal delivery, but it blends in nicely with the mellow production that they're going for here. Now this song is a cute little nostalgic song about a relationship of theirs, and the one thing I do like about both of them together, they come across very sensual but also very shy, which is something in a relationship between 2 parties that kind of underlooked sometimes. There definitely is that shyness factor, especially when you're first meeting each other, that a lot of it's kind of unspoken. So I kind of like that dichotomy that they're going here with the 2 together. Then after this we get Crystallize, which is one of the main singles from this album. Has some nice guitar and bass riffs throughout, and I like how the song progressively gets louder from the verses all the way up into the chorus where it peaks. Again though, I think that the verses could have been a little bit louder and not as quiet, especially the second verse once the actual chorus pops in and we get kind of its peak loudness. But still a very good job as far as the production goes. Now this song also has Romy and Oliver kind of going back and forth with each other, and I like how on the last verse of the song they're both kind of singing different verses to each other, kind of almost showing the differences that they both view in this relationship, kind of overlapping each other, which I thought was very, very interesting. We then get the song Islands, which is one of my standout tracks on the album. I thought it was one of the catchier songs on the album. It does have a very simple beat, but I thought that the echoey guitars throughout the entire track just sounded absolutely beautiful. This song is all about 2 people in a relationship who are fully committing to each other and have essentially found what they have been searching for the longest time in their significant other. Another really good song on this album. The next song we get is Heart Skip the Beat, which again has some really beautiful echoey guitars throughout it, and they're layered extremely well on this song. Really has a nice vibe to it. I like the claps on this song, and then also as well towards the second half of the song we get a change in the kick drum. We get more of like a house kick towards the second half of the song. And this song is basically all about 2 people who have split apart from each other, but every once in a while they feel like they still need each other. I will say with this song, at this point, the past 3 or 4 songs have basically been the same tempo, so I was kind of looking for a switch up as far as the tempo and the pace of the album. But the pace of the album definitely switches up on the song Fantasy. It's definitely a slower song, but it's very, very atmospheric, has these spacey synths, and we also hear just Oliver doing vocals only on this song, and his vocals are kind of reverbed. He's basically singing all about fantasizing of or reminiscing of a summer fling of his. And then it's a very short song, but towards the last minute of the song, we get very, very beautiful guitar solo in it with, again, the nice echoey guitars that they're known for. Not to forget, too, the bass on this song is absolutely insane. I love the bass on this song as well. Another standout track of mine. This song just sounds absolutely beautiful. Now, after we get the Oliver only track, Fantasy, we get the Romy only track, which is Shelter. And I definitely think, like I said before, out of the two singers, I think Romy's delivery and performances are much better than Oliver's, and this song surely highlights that. I think that's the main thing it highlights on this song, as the production was a little bit thinner than it was on Fantasy, and it's kind of pushing Romy's vocals more into the front of this song, but I do think that the song does have a very nice mood to it. It does, again, feature some very nice echoey guitars in it, a nice bass line in it, and the song is basically all about Romy feeling like she needs to right her perceived wrongs in this relationship. And then from here we get the song Basic Space, which is definitely starts off as one of the quieter songs on the album. It starts off with these kind of clunky electronic sounds and percussion in it, but eventually everything does layer out very, very nicely. I like the guitars on this song towards the second half of the song. And this song is basically all about the intimacy between these two partners. Then from here we get the song Infinity, which is one of the slower songs on the album. Definitely changes the pace up of the album. Now this song right here has some really nice percussions and drums throughout this entire song. I really like the vibe of it. It has like these nice snaps and congos in it. And the song itself kind of reminds me of being on the beach almost. But you can get kind of lost in the production as it kind of puts you in this certain space. It kind of reminds me of the song Wicked Games by Chris Isaacs, which if you're having a very hard time sleeping, I suggest putting that song on, or this song for that matter, and you could definitely fall asleep right away. Wish this had a little bit more pop to it. Now this song is kind of almost like Heart Skipped a Beat, where this song is basically about two people not being able to let go of each other. We then get the song Nighttime, which definitely does sound like sonic ambient, has some really nice spacey feel to it. I love the synths in it. The synths kind of have like a swirly effect on them that sounds really beautiful. Very dreamy synths. And I love the guitars in it as well. And I love how the song eventually progresses and then the drums kick in and everything slowly progresses really, really nicely. And the song is basically all about this relationship where the two partners find it easier to be able to be more intimate and connect during the nighttime. And the last track on this album is Stars, which is, I did think had some very nice production on it. I love the pianos on it, but I think overall this is my least favorite track, and I definitely wish that the album could have closed out in a more exciting fashion, kind of how the album opened with the song Intro. I wish that this last song had a little bit more punch to it than it did. So in conclusion, I did definitely enjoy this album overall. I thought it was a pretty good listening experience, and I do think that there is a lot to like about the XX as a whole. I think that they definitely come across and bring out the kind of aspects in a relationship that include very just sleek, sensual, and the shy effects in both vocally and production wise. I do enjoy the minimalistic production that they went for on this album, but I definitely think that at times I wish that it kind of left me wanting more. I felt like some of these songs, I think either just the way that they were structured, I wanted there to be a little bit more oomph in some of these songs and have a little bit more pop to them. But overall, I do like the aesthetic that the album is going for. I think another thing that kind of hurt the album for me too is the fact that it definitely slowed down toward the end of the album. I think that if it was perhaps sequenced a little differently as far as the songs goes, I think that if some of the songs towards the first half of the album were kind of put into the second half, That way it was sequenced a little better, so that we have an up-tempo track, then a slower track, then an up-tempo track, then a slower track. I think it definitely would have made the album a better listening experience as a whole. So overall, I'm going to give this album a 7.5 out of 10. Again, this is just my opinion, and thank you for watching, YouTube.